Hello. That works. So, hello everyone on this Monday. This is another episode from Czentury.com, and I thought we're doing just a general workout today, a beginner to intermediate class. Everyone should be able to do, and I hope you have fun. I'll say a special hello to my viewers in China. Hello, I know you're there, and of course to everyone else in Europe as well. I know some of you have clicked on it too. So let's start. I want to start lying down on my back. So we'll make sure that we align our spine accordingly. So straight spine, neutral position underneath the lower back. So if you slide your hand underneath your back and take it out, have your pelvis nice and flat and the feet flat on the ground, hands beside the pelvis too. Let's sink our shoulders back to the ground, retracting the shoulders so that you could hold a walnut down onto the mat. We take a couple of deep breaths. We may close our eyes or keep them open, whatever you like. And then we breathe in through the nose into the side of the ribs. And then we breathe out, close the ribs, draw the navel in, lift the pelvic floor, and we roll an imaginary marble towards the belly button. Then we inhale and rock the pelvis back to where we started. And on exhale, we roll our imaginary marble towards the belly button without rounding the shoulders. And on inhale, we rock back. So technically spoken, we posturally tilt the pelvis and then roll back into an almost anterior tilt. Gentle, almost hollow back, neutral position. A couple of times. Make sure your neck is nice and relaxed. And last one. And then you return back to a flat pelvis. Now let's think about the 2 points here and here, the 3 and 9 o'clock on the side of the pelvis. And on exhale, we are rotating around the spine as an axis. Lift one side of the pelvis up, lower the other one. Breathe in, we're flat in the pelvis. Breathe out. Tip the pelvis to the other side. So we're rocking from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Keep going. This exercise, as a lot of you will know, is the first part of the pelvic clock. And one more time. It's wonderful to loosen lower back tightness and then come back to the center. Now imagine your pelvis is now rolling over the floor. So we've got 3 and 9 o'clock with your sides of your pelvis, and we've got 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock with the pubic bone and the breastbone. And now we're circling around and around whilst we're breathing. So that allows us to use a lot of deep tummy muscles, particularly if we do not move from the bone point of view, but we are contracting our muscles so thoroughly that the movement is initiated by that. Rather than pushing the bones in the ground, we are using all of the tiny muscles in our center. Second direction, side, away, side, 12 o'clock, 2 more rounds, side, 6 o'clock, side, 12 o'clock, 1 more time, side, 6 o'clock, side, 12 o'clock, and rock back to neutral. Beautiful. Good work. So on exhale, bring one leg and then the other leg up into chair position and place your hands on top of your knees. Now let's circle with the hands staying on the kneecap and the lower back staying in a reduced neutral position. So there's not much air or not any air at all underneath my lower back whilst I'm circling. In fact, I'm stirring my femur in my hip socket. We're moving symmetrically and simultaneously. And I'm using my abdominal muscles to maintain that quiet position of my pelvis. Second direction, side, knees to your chest, and move the legs away and a bit down, side. Now the ultimate challenge happens when we place our hands down on the ground and we keep circling in the exactly same manner without losing pelvic stability or shoulder control. I almost lost that. 2 more times, down, side, together, and last one, down, side, together, and return. Place the hands underneath the hollows of the knees and go for an assisted roll up. Breathe in and out. Lifting head, transferring the weight into your feet and roll up. Breathe in there, breathe out. Lean back in an imaginary hammock. Roll down, keep your shoulders down. Then take your feet off the ground and gently roll down. Work with the flow. Breathe in there. Breathe out. Close your ribs. Draw your navel and lift your pelvic floor. Roll up. So remember when we spoke about BCM. Breathe. Control. Move. Keep breathing out. Move, 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 move. Breathe in. Breathe out. Contract and move and sit up. One more time. Roll over both halves of your back evenly. Last one. And then reach forward with your arms and roll down onto your back. Well, the next one I've been asked to teach specifically. It's a really good tummy muscle exercise. We bring both hands behind the head, folded. It's an isometric exercise, so it will make you shiver. That's okay, because we work with our co-contractions with the 9 groups of muscles. We breathe in the side of the ribs. Breathe out, close our ribs. Draw the navel in, lift the pelvic floor, and then glide the breastbone forward. We breathe in there, and on exhale, we lift one leg, and then the second leg up. We may have them together, 90-90. We look rather upward than forward. Sorry, more forward than upward. Breathe in and up. Every time I'm closing my ribs, I draw my navel and lift my pelvic floor. Breathe in and up. And you feel me shaking. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more times. Breathe in. And last time. Breathe in and out. And then you lower slowly. And you may hug your knees into your chest. Now we'll do this exercise now for the crossing tummy muscles as we just have trained the straight ones. It's very similar. You may keep your feet on the ground if you want it. So I'm showing you. So feet on the ground. Both hands behind your head. This exercise is brilliant for everyone who wants to work on the waistline. So we breathe in and out. Curl up. Let's say we keep the feet on the ground. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe up. Curl up a bit higher and reach towards one side. However, do not tip to the side. Stay nicely flat on the ground with your pelvis. Breathe in there. Breathe up. Feel the connection from the one rib cage to the opposite hip, or continue with legs up in chair position, or even continue with long legs for the ones amongst us who are really strong. However, if your back hurts, keep your feet down. One more breath. And we roll down. Then we work on the other side. Breathe in and up. Curl up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Reach and curl up. Connect your rib to your opposite hip. And one more time. And roll down. Beautiful. Now, let's lengthen our body and roll over onto the tummy. So lengthen and roll over. Beautiful. Now, we look towards one side. I have to fix my hair disaster there. Okay, look to the side and you bring both hands onto your lower back. Bend both knees. You can fold your hands like that, or you can have both hands flat on your bottom, or you can just hold on gently. So what I don't want you to do is protract your shoulders that badly, so keep them nicely neutral. Elbows pointing to the side. Breathe in there. Breathe out. Funnel your ribs. Draw your navel in, meaning lifting it up off the ground. Lift your pelvic floor, and then lengthen arms and legs, and you look down. And I feel like, I want to lengthen my neck. I look down and I think about the head of a turtle coming out of its shell. Breathe in, glide my hand back on the lower back, bend my elbows. Breathe out, lengthen arms and legs. And again, breathe in, breathe out. Contract and move. Think about engaging your butt cheeks. Think about holding that credit card in between your cheeks. Floating up the thighs off the ground if you can. Don't push your belly into the ground. Pick up a diamond underneath your belly button. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And up. And then push yourself in resting position. Means hands down on the ground. Up and back. Now will I be off the video a little bit? Stretch. Breathe into the posterior aspect of your rib cage. And then lie down back onto your tummy. Okay. Now reach out with your arms. Have your legs long too. We will float the head just off the ground so that we can still breathe. Now, a lot of people, particularly if you're a dancer, would be drawn in a hollow back like that. So you need to think about drawing your tailbone back towards the back of your heels. Shoulder blades are drawn down. You're looking down to the floor. Breathing. And up. Contract and move. One arm and the opposite leg. Breathe in. Lower arm and opposite leg. Breathe out and lift. Now think about the crown of the head being drawn forwards. The tailbone drawn back. And your foot as straight as possible. Your shoulder blade is drawn down towards the pelvis as well. You don't want to lift your shoulder up towards your ear. You want to have a long neck. Then arms and legs are floated off the ground. And you can start the swimming, a faster movement. Breathing slowly, moving much faster. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. Pushing yourself up into 4-point And if you like, going just a moment into resting position. Now we haven't done much rotation today, so I suggest we're going to do the thread the needle. So coming on all four, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and the shoulder blades drawn back. Now a lot of times that happens, so make sure that your tailbone is stretched backwards. Inhale, lift one arm up, and the other elbow eye does not flick forward, so it still points inward. And on exhale, we twist the spine and reach to the side. Breathe in, we're going back on all four. Breathe out, we twist to the other side. And again, in and out. In. The last time towards each side, so we're even. And then you return and you go into the mermaid position. Knees are bent, hands on the ground. Really important is that we don't flick that elbow forward, the elbow eye belongs inward. We have the palm pointing up, breathe in there, breathe out, we stretch up and over, breathe in and open, breathe out and twist. The first one provokes the imagery of a rainbow, whereas the second one provokes the wet towel which gets wrung. And again, breathe in. And out long lines. Breathe in. And one more time. You know, I'm a big advocate of moving the spine towards every possible direction in each and every class. So you need to make sure you're not forgetting lateral flexion and rotation. We swing the legs to the other side. I chose closed Z pose today, as you've noticed. And I know there are lots of variations, particularly on the mermaid. The one we're doing at the moment is called mermaid. But on all of the other ones too, because Joseph Pilates published just a little bit less than 40 exercises in his book, Return to Life Through Contrology, many years ago. In the mid of the last century. So a lot of these exercises are variations of these exercises because they were made suited to different needs and goals and bodies. So we have a huge variety of exercises today. Let's do one more. I lost the track counting. And last one. And return. And sit straight. Okay. Now let's swing the legs around to whatever side. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you're sitting straight. And we're working on the spine stretch forward. For the spine stretch forward, you want to have your lower back as straight as possible, even whilst you're flexing forward, to increase the stretch you get in your thoracic spine. Now, many of you have done classes with me, and we sometimes do partner exercises, and this is one of our favorites, where two people sit back on back with each other, and the lower backs are meant to stay together whilst we perform that exercise. Let's think about that whilst we do this. So breathe in, palms up. Breathe out, close your ribs, draw your navel in, lift your pelvic floor, and then stretch your arms forward, gliding them over the floor. Reach forward, but draw your shoulders down and sideward. and my lower back is still where it was. I'm not hinging forward. Breathe in there. Breathe out. Let my arms sink down, and then vertebra after vertebra after vertebra, I'm building a tall house and sit nice and straight. Breathe in. Breathe out. And you stretch forward, drawing your shoulders down and sideways, like wings. Breathe in there. Breathe out. Come back up into straight seated. 3 more times. Last one, or 2 more, I think. Hope you enjoy that. And then the last time. And then you release. Now let's place our hands behind us. We have the feet pressed into the mat, and originally the hands were positioned that way when Joseph taught it, but you can turn your hands to the side and slightly backwards. Breathe in there. It's important that you have your shoulders stable, so push the shoulder blades down, freeing up your AC joint. Exhale, lift your pelvis through, rolling up. Breathe in, breathe out. Gently lowering your body without collapsing in the shoulder. Breathe in there. Breathe out. Contract. Now peel your pelvis off the ground. Breathing. And out and go down. You may notice that you get a quite a nice strengthening in your arms. Breathe in. Breathe out. If you wanted to, you can add a little movement. Don't get a shock. Breathe in, lift your leg up. Breathe out, flex your ankle and lower that leg. Now you don't have to do that. Breathe in, lift the other leg. Breathe out, flex your ankle, lower the leg. One more on each side. Breathe in. Breathe out and lower. And last one, breathe in. Breathe out, flex and lower. And roll down and sit up nice and straight. We're coming once again onto the side, and I will demonstrate how I do side leg exercises. Now I'm a big fan of Joseph's original variation. So when you lie on the side, I first of all, personally like to roll on my tummy quickly, lengthen the distance in between rib and hips, roll back, and then if I contract my muscles, I actually have a gap here called waist in between. The waist and the mat, there's a bit of a gap. Now, lying on your side, you bend your lower elbow, then prop your head in your hand, and then draw your elbow just a little bit closer towards your body, so that here you have a triangular space free. If you see that, that's not very useful. So I really want you to feel as if you're lifted up in a sling, and you have a very straight line here. You want to have the same length here and here. So that makes us train our external obliques. Lower leg is bent. Now bring that elbow in a position where you feel you're nicely supported in your neck. Your neck is not hanging like that. Your head's not hanging like that. It's not like that. So depending on your arm length, you may need to use your fingertip, or you may have to have your head in your flat palm. Now that was a lot of explanations. Let's lift that leg up just a little bit. Flex your ankle. I may move a little bit so you see a bit better. Okay, now on inhale we swing that leg forward, and on exhale I point and go backwards. So for the ones amongst you who study Pilates, it's a dorsiflexion forward and a plantar flexion backward. As you know, just a little reminder for your exam, dorsiflexion forward and plantar flexion backward. Now the leg backward, arm forward. We now add an arm movement. Inhale. So we're doing beautiful coordination exercise, whilst we perform actually not very complicated maneuver. Now this you'll definitely feel in the side of your abs, in the side of your bum. The arm and the legs meant to be long, so don't have them floppy. Have them nice and toned, long lines. Breathe in when you swing the leg forward. Breathe out when you swing the leg back. And last one, breathe in. Breathe out. And then release. Let's do that on the other side. Sit up, swing the legs around. Lie onto our side. Remember my little trick? You don't have to do that. It's just I just share little tricks I learned along all these years of Pilates. Bend your elbow, prop your head in your hand, and off we go. Lower legs gently bent, top legs lifted. I wiggle again a little bit for you so you actually see what I'm doing. Breathe in, dorsiflexion forward. Breathe out, plantar flexion backward. Now, some of you have got hip issues. That's okay, just don't go too far. Now, a healthy hip should move 15 degrees backwards beyond that line 0 to get a hip flexor stretch. Remember to use the arm as well. So we have shoulder stability, shoulder mobility, arm strength, leg strength, tummy strength, bum strength. We've got all in one exercise. So although for the students, although it's classed in side lying, that could be classed as a full body integration exercise. You may not know, but I'm working also as a mentor for the people who become Pilates teachers in South Australia and soon in Berlin from July ongoing. So I now and then refer to the manual and give them a little help with their learning procedure. A couple more times, breathe in, breathe out, and the last time, breathe in and breathe out, and then we release. Wonderful. Now let us sit up and I'll show you a little bottom stretch. Now a lot of you have done reformer training in the past and a lot of you love the stretch over the box. Now there's an exercise on the mat where we at least can get close to that. Let's have the legs parallel, not crossed but they're parallel. Now when I lean forward in sense of flex forward in my spine, the bum on the side where the leg's further away from my heart will get a good stretch. So let's try that. Exhale, lean forward. Now some of you will feel it here, some of you will feel it here, and some dancers will have to lie down. So depending on what you need, to let the head hang down is always quite useful because it really increases the stretch. Don't let the tummy fall out. It's a good moment to practice some breathing. One more time. Remember, you've got always your Franklin balls at home and your foam roller. And for the ones who don't know what that is or have no concept of how to use it, I'll teach all of that in the next weeks. Breathe in, so we swap the legs. Breathe out, lean forward. Let your head hang down and stretch. Beautiful. Couple more breaths. And then we're coming towards full body integration exercises. Let's roll up into seated. Okay, I would like to do a tummy muscle exercise and then a rolling coordination exercise. I get asked a lot what to do, how to slim the fastest or how to lose baby weight after giving birth or any of that. Everyone with thyroid issues, most people want to just be more toned around their center, and this exercise called crisscross is one of the originals and it's very useful for that particular reason. So let's get going. So we're lying back on our back. Okay. Now besides that exercise, obviously healthy food is important, and I think on the blog I'll write soon about my paleo diet I'm on. and some of you may be interested in that. But now we're doing Pilates. Hands behind the head, others pointing to the side. Breathing. Breathe out. Curl up a little bit. Now begin a variation. On each and every exhale, reduce the distance between one rib cage and the opposite hip without rolling to the side. Breathing, go back. Breathe out. So that beginner version is quite similar to the exercise we used before, the isometric exercise, but this one is dynamic. So we're doing some prep work there, and really make sure that you feel that the distance in between one rib cage and the opposite hip is shrinking. You could think of elastic band, Velcro, magnets, all things which help you a lot. And then I show you the actual exercise. Let's just roll down for a moment to catch your breath. So you could continue that if that's enough for you to feel your tummy, particularly when you work on your ribs, tummy, pelvic floor, then you move and so on and so forth. That's absolutely fine. So when I just go a level higher now and then the third level higher, please just continue and repeat this and it will help you. Now the intermediate stage, who wants to can join in, and who doesn't want to just keeps on doing what we've done before. The legs go up in what we call chair position or 90-90 because 2 90 degrees stapled on top of each other. And on exhale, we're curling up. So an intermediate student will do this. Crisscross with legs up. The feet can also be placed on a fitball if you own one. And then you can really feel if you keep your feet quiet. I'm going now up the third level, just so that everyone's covered. You lengthen the leg on the side where your shoulders higher. Draw the other knee towards you. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lengthen the leg on the side with the shoulders higher. Draw the other knee towards you. Oops, one more on each side. There's an alarm going off from one of the cars outside. Sorry for that. And last time. And return. And roll down and hug your knees. Wonderful. Okay, obviously someone got through that car. Let us roll up into seated position. Beautiful. And then do something dynamic. Now, I really love the kids roll over, and I've been asked by my friends in China if I could teach that kids roll over. I just need to fix my hair. Now, this exercise is really important that you check if you've got a necklace on or if you're a girl, and if your hair is fine, because it has to be away from the back of the head. Otherwise, it could be quite painful. Necklaces that they don't slip back. Make sure nothing's standing behind you. And this is a good preparation if you wanted to learn the whole roll over. Now, my knees are bent, my arms are reaching forward, I sit straight. On inhale, I bring my hands down on the ground, lift my feet up. On exhale, I roll over, and I can have my hands pushing into the ground. My legs are flat, parallel over the ground. Breathe in and bend your knees. And breathe out, return, roll back up. Now, everyone's done reformer training with me. We'll see that this is quite similar or related to the short spine massage with the feet in straight. Breathe in, feet up, knees bent, but don't let your knees drop on your face. Exhale and roll and sit up. I'll do that again. Breathe in, breathe out, roll back, lengthen your legs. Breathe in, bend your knees. Breathe out, return, lengthen your arms. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. I'm sure you're doing well and enjoy the stretch in your spine. Last one. Breathe in. Breathe out. This can be also classed as inverted, so it's a good moment to teach this exercise. And relax. Okay, let's go on to our side, please. We're going to do the book stretch and the chalk circles. Now you can let your head sink down to the ground, or if that causes you a problem, you could just have your arm resting, your head resting on your arm. I don't actually mind that. I can lie on my side. I've got my knees bent, feet against an imaginary wall. And on exhale, you open and, oops, let me wiggle. Open and stretch your chest. Breathe in there. Breathe up and return. Breathe in. You could reach a little forward. Breathe out, open. Stretch your spine, your chest muscles. Look back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Engage your core muscles first before you return. Now for the chalk circles, you pretend to have a piece of chalk in your hand and you open in a backstroke-like movement. So you go forward, breathe in, breathe out, pretend to draw a circle with a chalk in your hand all around you. Breathe in, breathe out. And that gives you a wonderful stretch and mobilization. I train a lot of teachers as well. That would be so good for you. And the last one, breathe in, breathe out, and return and release. Now you at home, you can just roll over and then start from the other side, whereas I will of course turn around so that I can look into your faces while I look into the camera, into the iPad. And we do both exercises. So knees bent, so they can be 90-90 or they can be in that bent knee position where the feet are against an imaginary wall. And exhale. Open. Wonderful exercise to open the chest muscles too. Energetically spoken, we're triggering the trigger points for emotional outlets too. So it could be that if you feel a bit upset or you want to release some emotional tension, that makes you feel much better afterwards. Now let's try the chalk circles. Breathe in and out. Beautiful. Breathe in. These exercises, meaning the mermaid we've done and the book stretch we're doing, book opening we're doing right now, and the chalk circles, they're probably the most successful exercises when it comes to chronic fatigue and depression. Lots of opening, lots of rotation, lots of spinal mobility, and lots of the triggering of the emotional outlet. Last one. But also for people, for everyone actually, to emotionally balance, these exercises are brilliant. Wonderful. Good. Now, let us come back up into our seated position. Okay, now we want to make sure we're finishing in standing. So I hope it doesn't cut my head off when we do that. Well, it's above you, so that doesn't matter. So we bring our body in the following position. You can see it actually quite nicely. I'm tucking my feet under. The hands go down the ground in 4-point. And we'll do an inverted exercise first too. Bring your shoulder blades back. On exhale, you push yourself into, yes you see me, into the inverted V. Now whilst I push my chest to the ground, it gives me a chance to walk through my feet and stretch my calf muscles beautifully. At the same time, I need to push my chest a bit down, see there, and not in hollow back, but to a degree where I feel a thoracic spine stretch. Then I focus on lengthening my spine so the crown of my head is pulling away from my coccyx, and I really get the most wonderful leg and spine stretch. Fantastic. And then we pause there, bring the feet in a hip width position, walk the hands back. Let the head sink down, and I will be gone out of the picture in a second, but it doesn't matter. Breathe in there. breathe out and you roll up. Beautiful. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's session. I know it has been a few days, but due to my move from Australia to Europe, I had to, finish teaching in my studio and move all the equipment. So it was a lot of work to be done. So I'm back now, and if you enjoyed the session, please make sure you share, do it again, do it with some friends, tell them also to have a look at the blog. It's Czentury with CZENTURY, Czentury.com, and you can email subscribe on the blog so you get the emails, an email notification in your email account when there is a new episode or new blog post I've written. And I also say hello to all my colleagues who are watching me, and to all the beautiful students who've shared so much time with me and always supported me along the way. Before I get too sentimental, I just say bye, and I'll see you soon in a few days. Bye.